Hello. If you are the one who has been contemplating of doing something about your kitchen waste, then this video is for you. Do you know that almost all of your kitchen waste can be composted and turned into rich organic manure for your plants? Composting is the natural process of decomposing organic matter with the help of oxygen and microorganisms and turning it into soil. Composting at home is very easy and doesn't need much efforts or expertise. This video will teach you to compost in the most easiest and economic way. Let's begin. For composting, you need a bin, green waste, brown waste, garden soil or buttermilk, and a little bit of patience and determination. Before we begin, collect your brown waste and green waste and shred it or cut it into smaller pieces. Here we are using an old plastic bucket as our compost bin. You may also use a mud pot. Since we are doing aerobic composting, we have to make holes in the bucket on all sides and bottom. This will let the air flow freely and prevent the decomposing matter from stinking. Line the bottom of the bucket with shredded paper or cardboard and dry leaves. Make sure the paper is not printed. We do not want to contaminate the compost with toxic ink. You may also use cocoa peat or sawdust. This layer of brown waste at the bottom of the bucket will help in absorbing excess moisture. Over this, start adding your shredded kitchen waste. Shredding fastens composting process. If you are using eggshells, make sure to wash, dry and crush them or better, powder them. Do not use meat, oil, dairy products or bones in home composting. I personally do not recommend composting cooked food. While so many people around the world are dying of starvation, I do not have the heart to waste food. I rather feed some needy. To start the composting process, top this with a layer of garden soil and a cupful of diluted buttermilk. Soil and buttermilk both have microbes which will help in decomposing the organic matter. I am also using a handful or two of compost from my previous batch. This will fasten the process. It is absolutely okay to not use it if you are a beginner. Finally, add another layer of brown waste, just enough to cover the wet waste. This will keep away flies and mosquitoes. Cover this bin with a lid or a plank of wood. This will help retain moisture and heat and also keep away pests. Keep this bin in a warm and shady place. Keep it raised from the floor and keep a dish under it to collect any leachate. Now every day keep adding your kitchen waste to the bin and top it with a layer of brown waste. After every 2-3 days, turn the contents of the bin with a rake. This will ensure aeration and help in evenly decomposing the contents. If you find the contents too dry, sprinkle some water. If it is too wet, add more brown waste. Always maintain a ratio of 70:30 of dry and wet waste. This will minimize the formation of worms and maggots in the bin. They are equally required for a quick composting though. Every time you add new waste, the earlier waste is getting decomposed, so it is going to shrink and reduce in size. So this bucket will take longer to get full than you think. When the bucket is full, keep it aside for another 2 months and the compost should be ready. When it's ready, it shall smell like farm soil and will have a moist tea powder-like texture. You can then use a handful of it for your potted plants every fortnightly as a manure. If you have any doubts, leave them in the comments below and I will try to answer them as much as possible. In the last 7 years of my composting journey, I have learned a few tips and tricks which I will share with you in our upcoming videos. With a little bit of patience and determination, you will be successful and composting will look like a child's play. Wishing you all a cleaner and greener earth. Happy composting!